In this video, we're taking a look at the Hamilton Khaki Field Watch in black PVD. So this is it here. This is a Swiss watch and it has a ETA movement. And a few years ago, what Hamilton did was they added a different movement, a different ETA movement to have 80 hours of power reserve on this watch, which is really nice. So you have a lot more power reserve. You don't have to wind it as often. It is a manually wound watch, so you wind it here with this big crown right here like that. And so it doesn't automatically wind. And in some ways that's really nice because when you're wearing it, it doesn't have the internal rotor that you can feel when you move. So it's, you know, a very comfortable watch. And the other thing that adds to the comfort is how slim it is. It's quite a slimline watch as well. It is a 38mm watch, so not too big, not too small, just really the sort of perfect size in my opinion. And I think this watch looks really great in the black PVD as you see here. It also comes in a silver, which is kind of a matte silver case. And it also comes in one they call Earth, which is sort of a brownish case, sort of maybe to look, maybe sort of made to look sort of like a sort of an old bronze or something like that. But I think that this watch looks really the best in this black case. It just looks really, really cool. And hopefully you can kind of see with this lighting that the hands actually have a little bit of faux patina on them in terms of the color of the hands, and also along the hour markers as well. It's kind of a beige color. So I think that looks really cool. And you know, they could have made it completely stark white and I don't think it would have looked as cool as it looks, you know, with this sort of beigeish color to it. It makes it look more like a vintage watch. And I think it looks really good with the black, and in certain lighting, you know, it really stands out. In this lighting, it may not stand out as much, but if I kind of shield the face of the watch like this, you can kind of see that quite well, in terms of it being almost like a yellow there on the hands, and then the outer hour markers as well. But you know, I think it looks really good. This watch does also have glow-in-the-dark lume as well, although which is good on this watch, but not great. But it does have that. And as you can see here, it comes with this really nice gray NATO strap. It actually is a Hamilton-made NATO strap. You can kind of see right here that it actually has some Hamilton branding right there on the clasp. And then it has some leather reinforcement here on the buckle holes, which is really nice. So that makes it last a lot longer and just seem like a much more high quality NATO strap than sort of your average NATO strap. The lugs on this watch is 20mm wide, so you can put any 20mm strap on this, whether it be a NATO strap or a leather strap or anything. And I think that, for instance, maybe a brown leather strap would look really nice with this watch. So this watch is very customizable in that respect. This is the box that it comes in, and it's a nice, you know, hard case box. It looks wood, but it's actually like a fake wood. You know, but it's a nice, attractive box. And then, of course, you get the Hamilton instruction manual with the instructions in many different languages as well. This watch retails for $545, but you can often find it for even under $400. Sometimes sellers on Amazon will sell this watch as well. So I'll post a link in the description field. Be sure to check that, you know, if you're interested in getting this watch. But I think that for the price, it's a great field watch in that it is a Swiss movement and very comfortable wearing, very hard wearing, very durable. And it's very definitely military inspired. And in fact, it's not just military inspired, but this is a real military watch. It has a MIL military spec to it as well. And in fact, Hamilton has quite a history supplying watches to the military. At one time, you could even buy Hamilton watches on base and stuff like that. Now these days, I don't know how many people in the military actually still wear Hamilton, probably some. But you know, a lot of military people these days are wearing things like Casio G-Shocks. But this is definitely a, you know, real military watch. So that is something to note. Now, why do they call this the Hamilton Khaki Field Watch? Why do they call it a field watch? Basically, a field watch is different than a pilot's watch, such as something like an IWC Big Pilot or something like that. And yet at the same time, it's not a diver's watch, which would be something like the Rolex Submariner or the Omega Seamaster. So it's something in between those two. And that's why they call it a field watch. Its ideal uses for on land, basically. So it's kind of in between those two different types of watches. Now that being said, this does have water resistance, I believe up to 50 meters. I think it's like 5 bar or something like that. So, you know, you can use this in the water, although it's not specifically made for diving, in that it doesn't have like a screw down crown or anything like that. And as I mentioned earlier, this is an automatic movement, and so far it has proven to be quite accurate for me. For me, it's losing about 1 second per 24 hours, and that is actually quite good for you know, an automatic Swiss watch. And again, it is an ETA movement as well. Let me go ahead and put this on, and that way you can see what it looks like on wrist. All right, so this is what it looks like on the wrist, and for reference, my wrist is about 6.5 inches. So I have a relatively thin wrist, and this watch being 38 millimeter, I think it looks really good, you know, on my wrist, as you can see it here. The lug length from like here, the top to bottom, is actually pretty long. So it actually kind of feels, when you're wearing it, a bit like a larger watch than the 38 millimeter. But as you can see here, it does look really good on the wrist, and it fits really nice. It's just very comfortable to wear. And as you can see here, at this kind of view, it's not real thick, so it doesn't stick up real high. And here's how the Nato strap looks on. It's definitely a really nice Nato strap, and as I mentioned, this is a 20 millimeter watch, so you can put any, you know, 20 millimeter strap that you want on this, whether it be a Nato strap or a leather strap or whatever. And let's see if I can get a closer up view here of the dial. The sapphire crystal on it does not have any kind of anti-glare coating, so we are getting quite a bit of glare here just because of my lights. So I apologize for that. In practice, it doesn't matter too much to me in real life, you know, but when you're trying to photograph it, that does come into play. If there was one thing I would change about this watch, is I would actually prefer a, you know, plexiglass crystal on it, because those tend to actually not reflect as much, and also they're just cooler as well and can be polished, and they can also be domed. So I would actually like a domed plexiglass crystal on this watch. I think that would make it just really choice. But you know, it wouldn't be quite as durable probably, but I would prefer that. But as you can see here, the dial on this watch is really a nice dial. It's executed really well, simple to read, military inspired. It kind of reminds you like of avionics airline gauge or something like that. And you know, just very simple and to the point, no frills, you know, sort of pure in that respect. And as you can see, you've got the 12-hour indicators there, but and as you can see here, you've got the 12-hour indicators, but then you also got, you know, the 24-hour indicators as well, which is, you know, kind of nice, I guess. And as you can see, the Swiss-made ETA movement does have the sweeping minute hand. So all in all, I think for a watch that is about $500 US, if not less, this is just a really great watch. Great everyday watch, great field watch, and very durable, and it's got a great style to it as well, and I think it just looks really cool in the black, as we've seen here. So thanks for watching this video. Again, this has been my look at the Hamilton Khaki Black PVD watch. And by the way, I don't know exactly what PVD stands for, but it's some kind of a coating that they put over the steel case that's very highly durable. So that's what the PVD is. So with the 80-hour power reserve and the really cool look and feel of this watch, combined with the extreme comfort of it and the Swiss movement, I think this is a real winner of a watch. Thanks for watching, and for any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. For pricing and availability, see the description field, and I will see you in my next video.